There's nothing like a cartoonishly long video game boss fight to make you want to curl up in the fetal position and rock yourself to sleep. You know the ones we're talking about, the kind with a bajillion HP, waves of minion underlings, and a smug air about them that makes you want to kick their teeth in. We've seen them all, so let's endure the terrible memories together as we look back at some of the longest and most nerve-wracking boss battles in gaming. Yiazmat, Final Fantasy XII. Let's be clear, the Final Fantasy franchise is lousy with ridiculously hard bosses, and sure, taking on the likes of super bosses like Angra Mainyu, Omega Weapon, and Ozma is no walk in the park, but the Dragon Yiazmat from 2006's Final Fantasy XII is a prime example of the sadistic pleasure Square Enix derives from gamers' tears. You see, Yiazmat boasts over 50 million health, and when, or rather if, you get Yiazmat to 50% health, all attack damage against him is capped at 6,999 HP, thus slowing down the battle dramatically. Even worse, Yiazmat can fully heal himself if he manages to cast certain spells. Real pros might be able to beat Yiazmat in about an hour, but if you're a casual player, be prepared to sink at least 3 or 4 hours to get the job done. The End, Metal Gear Solid 3. Snake's final encounter with the End in Metal Gear Solid 3 is a test of a player's skill and endurance. The End's sniper rifle might be fitted with tranquilizer darts instead of bullets, but one wrong move will still put an end to your game. This fight requires stealth, finesse, and patience as you try to track the End while avoiding detection. Most players should expect to spend a good 2 or 3 hours on this fight their first time.
I beg of you, grant me the strength to take this final prey.
If all that running around and sneaking around sounds boring, and believe us, it drags on, there are a few alternate routes you could take to finish the fight early. You can snipe the End during a cutscene, or if you're willing to keep your mitts off your controller for a week, even force him to die of old age by saving the game and turning your console off for 7 or more days.
Reckless boy. You don't deserve to meet your fate just yet.
Boss Rush and Yami, Ōkami. It may be one of the most highly rated action-adventure games of all time, but Ōkami has one of the most dreaded final boss sequences of all time, the Boss Rush. In this kind of final boss battle, a player must square up for a rematch with all of the previously defeated bosses before going on to face some final big bad for the ultimate challenge. Ōkami stays true to the Boss Rush tradition. At the wreckage of the Ark of Yamato, you must fight and defeat all of the major demons from the game again before you even see the final boss, Yami, the demon leader who helped kill all of the gods long ago. And that fight takes forever too. She shifts through multiple forms and phases along the way, forcing you to switch up your strategies to keep from getting your divine hiney whooped. Nyx's avatar, Shin Megami Tensei, Persona 3. In the final battle of social sim/JRPG Persona 3, you go up against the avatar of Nyx, the personification of death itself, and the harbinger of the end of all life. So, not the most forgiving boss in video game history.
The moment man devoured the fruit of knowledge, he sealed his fate.
Throughout the fight, the Nyx avatar will shift through 14 different arcana. For those unfamiliar with Persona 3, that means you've got to battle this baddie through 14 phases to defeat it. Even if you manage to get to the final phase, things can still turn against you in an instant. In its final form, Nyx avatar has abilities that reflect all attacks and deal heavy damage. Additionally, extremely unlucky players might get hit by Nyx's charm spell, tricking one of your party members into giving it a full heal. Count on this fight taking at least an hour or more to finish, especially on your first playthrough or with an underpowered party.
Such a pity. You understand fate, yet you still fight against it with all of your will.
Abyssion, Tales of Symphonia. The one saving grace of Abyssion from the 2003 RPG Tales of Symphonia and its 2014 remaster Tales of Symphonia Chronicles is that he's completely optional. If players were actually required to defeat Abyssion, you'd probably find a lot more used copies of Tales of Symphonia lining your local GameStop shelves. In the setup to this boss fight, Abyssion sends you to retrieve a set of cursed weapons called the Devil's Arms. He claims he plans to lock these horribly evil weapons away in some deep dark place forever. Sounds legit, right?
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong.
After you finally gather all of the weapons, Abyssion turns on you in a sudden yet inevitable betrayal, and the true boss fight begins. He can use many of your own skills against you, and many of his spells do truly incredible amounts of damage. Unless you get extremely lucky or have a high-level party, a successful Abyssion fight will probably take an hour or more. Mael Radec, Killzone 2. Instead of a long and protracted battle found in some turn-based games, the final fight with Killzone 2's Hellgast commander, Mael Radec, is a heart-stopping 30-plus minutes of bullet hell. First, you're tasked with dealing with waves of soldiers Radec throws at you throughout the boss fight. Each wave is tougher than the last, and the final enemies consist of relentless waves of elite Hellgast soldiers with rocket launchers. And then Radec finally shows up.
You seem to want this to be personal. It will be my pleasure.
He's an expert in both long-range and up-close combat, and his armor can withstand even a rocket launcher blast. Even worse, Radec comes equipped with both a teleporter and a personal cloaking device, which makes it child's play for him to suddenly attack you from behind when you're least expecting it. Prepare to spawn lots of times before you get the timing and strategy on this boss battle right.